Welcome to Manitowoc Garage. In today's video, we'll be doing an overview of the carrier display features on a GMK4100L-1 with the CCS operating system. Please remember to always refer to the crane's operation and safety manual for detailed explanations of the operating system, display features, component locations, and descriptions. With the crane ignition on, we see our main navigation buttons on the front of the display. The arrow buttons will be used to navigate once you're in the sub menus. The OK button will be used to accept a menu item. The escape button will always bring you back to the setup, the original startup screen. The menu button will take you to the sub menu of the different functions for the carrier. Hitting escape takes you back to the startup screen. The top arrow button here in the corner takes you to the display, contrast screen, and also the clock. So you can set the clock or the display. The lower right button on the carrier has no function on the GMK. Going back to the startup screen, you have some general information when it comes to fuel level, water temps, battery voltage, level of the machine, and also warning symbols. This warning symbol is telling us we have low battery voltage. Also, you have displays of the suspension, the steering, and the cross locks and long locks for the machine. Entering into the menu, sub-menu, you see you have different menu items you can select. We have at the top, we use the navigation buttons here to highlight the different features. This is the suspension screen. This is your steering mode screen. This is your display contrast, hour meters, powertrain errors, crane errors, working lights on the carrier, backup camera, oil heat up for the carrier, and transfer case, low range and high range for highway mode or off-road mode. Navigating back up to the suspension screen, we now, once it's highlighted, we select OK, and now we've entered into the suspension screen. There will be future videos to explain the functions of these screens coming in the future to Manitowoc Garage. But in this screen, you have the ability to select the different suspension components to raise and lower the suspension from the cab. You can lock the suspension, and you can see the pressures within the suspension. Going back to the main menu, the steering screen. Here we have the ability to change the steering configuration from highway mode to manual mode, to coordinated mode, to crab mode. Also, we have the ability to lock and unlock the machine's cross locks and longitudinal locks. Back to the main menu, display contrast. Here it's just as simple as changing the contrast of the display to lighten and darken the display. Hour meter is going to show current hours and cumulative hours. So it always will keep cumulative hours for the machine. However, the individual hour sets can be reset. For example, if the crane goes out on a rental. Powertrain error codes. Currently there are no error codes, but this will display errors for the engine, transmission, brake system, steering system, will all be seen in this menu. Crane error codes. So any error codes that would apply to the crane itself would be displayed on this menu. Working lights for the carrier, simply hitting OK will turn the working lights on the carrier. Hitting OK again turns them off. Backup camera, turns on the backup camera. Menu to go back to the main menu. Oil heat up, so when this is selected, this will basically cycle the functions of the pumps on the carrier and heat up the oil. Hit OK to turn it off. And then finally is the transfer case. We can select highway mode or we can select off-road mode, changing the gear ratio of the transfer case depending on where we're driving the crane. Escape takes us back to the startup screen, and that's the features of the carrier display on a 4100L-1. Thanks for checking in and viewing today's video from Manitowoc Garage. We hope you will find today's information useful, and please be sure to check back in for future videos. Thank you.